distinguished guests on the dais, judicial officers, members of the bar, and family of Indian Lawyers Association. It is honor and pride for me to be with you, and I have old memories of this district, especially district Guntur, and both the state Telangana and Andhra Pradesh High Court. On 12 April 2016, I came as a judge of Andhra and Telangana High Court at Hyderabad. That time it was combined High Court. And it is a matter of chance. I become administrative judge of district Guntur. So therefore, every quarterly I had to visit this district. So I am very familiar about this district. How do I know your leader Sant Kumar, leader and fighter? And why I added fighter? It was my second or third visit to Guntur, and I have to inaugurate sports room. During daytime there was a workshop. Workshop was going on, and I received message from the protocol judge. That time Mr. Praveen was there. He informed me, sir, no need to go there because there will be some disturbance, security problems, because one of the group is opposing that. I said, listen, whosoever group is there, you please convey, I am coming and I will inaugurate that. However, I asked, who is that group? They named Sant Kumar. When they named Sant Kumar, I said, just convey message and ask him to meet me. And it was a hall, I think, municipality hall or so. There he came along with 4 or 5 advocates. I said, you are opposing my that's coming to inaugurate that sports room. Kaith, yes, sir. Why? He said, you are meeting the other advocates, but not meeting me, not giving any audience to us. Because when I came first time, he introduced himself that he is an ex-president of the Guntur bar. I remember that. And I also come to know who Sant Kumar is. Then I said, listen, tell me one thing. When did you approach to meet me at Hyderabad or so? He said, no. Then how can you say that I am not giving you audience to you and giving audience to others? He said, we heard. What do you mean by that? It's a hearsay. And I said, listen, go to the court, prepare for the inauguration, and I am coming over there. So when we were inaugurating and cutting the ribbon, then I asked, where is the opposition leader? He said, no, sir, I am not opposition leader. I said, in a democracy, opposition leader is also required. So therefore, come along with me. Leader is necessary. For any purpose, there are 2 ways. Either you lead or be led. Don't put a question on a leader that your leader is bad, leader is not doing this thing, leader is doing in that particular manner. We have no question to ask for the reason I tell you. If a leader is there and he is not good, he is good for nothing, within no time he will be eliminated automatically. But one day or in a few days or few months or years, you cannot say whether he is a good leader or not leader. I give example of my experience, I tell you. When Manyavar Kansiram is moving everywhere by foot, by cycle, by bus, by trains, whatever the manner. And one day what happened, It was a DS4, no, sorry, bomb safe, by that time bomb safe, DS4 initially, then bomb safe. Not even a BSP political party came into existence. I was in Kurukshetra pursuing my graduation. That time he was just going towards that Ambedkar Chowk square, and he had hardly 20 persons having 2-3 banners. And I heard earlier that Kansi Ram is such a personality who will change the scenario of the country and he may lead this country. I honestly confess, I loved that. Okay, these 20 people, can they do that thing? But within no time, the BSP came into existence, and because of his ideology and hard work, and Mayawati ruled UP government as Chief Minister 4 times. And she created one history. She was the only first Chief Minister who completed 5 years. Otherwise, whosoever big guns of that state, nobody could complete 5 years. So therefore, when a leader starts leading, it takes time, it takes funds, it takes lot of energy, and one has to leave house, family, there are so many things, and you all know about those who sacrifice this, their family and everything, including Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Today we have various topics. Slightly I'll touch each and every one. And you all know, when our constitution was being drafted, Dr. Ambedkar reminded us in the Constitutional Assembly that constitutional morality is not a natural sentiment. It has to be cultivated. He was drawing from the Greek historian Garote, yet his concern was deeply Indian. Ambedkar foresaw that for a country as diverse as ours, the written text of the Constitution would not be enough. What would sustain democracy was the spirit of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity become part of our everyday conduct. Even Mahatma Gandhi added same idea when he said, I shall work for an India in which poorest shall feel that it is their country in whose making they have an effective voice. Both Ambedkar and Gandhi were telling us that democracy cannot survive merely on laws. It needs values, restraint, compassion, and a deep moral commitment. Since 1950, our constitution has been more than a legal chapter. It has been social contract and moral compass. The first Prime Minister on the eve of independence said in his famous Tryst with Destiny speech, the ambition of greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from everyone. That may be beyond us, but so long as there are tears and suffering, so long our work will not be over. These sentiments of justice and dignity for the weakest was embodied in the preamble and into every chapter of our Constitution. Over the decades, the judiciary often risen to breathe life into these ideas. In Keswanand Bharti case, you all know, reminded us that constitutional democracy is not what Parliament says it is, but what the Constitution says it is. In Menka Gandhi case also, scope of liberty was broadened, showing us that life and freedom are to be interpreted in their richest human sense. Also in Navatej Singh Johar, by striking down 377 IPC, observed constitutional morality requires that the court act as a counter-majoritarian institution, discharging the responsibility of protecting rights regardless of what the majority may believe. Why are these reminders so vital today? Because our present reality is more complex than the framers could have imagined. Socially, caste discrimination, gender inequality, and struggle for dignity of LGBTQ plus persons continue. Politically, we witness polarization and populism that threaten to overshadow the principles of equality and fraternity. Judicially, courts must constantly balance security with liberty and tradition with constitutional ethics. Ambedkar had warned in his final address, if we wish to preserve the Constitution, let us resolve not to lay our liberties at the feet of even a great man, or to trust him with powers which enables him to subvert our institutions. His words ring truer today than ever before. Here, role of each group become critical. Advocates are the foot soldier of the constitutional morality. Justice Sachar Khanna once said, the legal profession is not merely a vocation. It is a noble calling for securing justice to those who are denied their rights. Every time a lawyer defends the liberty of an individual against arbitrary power or fight for the rights of marginalized constitutional promises come alive. Activists to carry constitutional morality into the streets and villages, into the lives of ordinary citizens. They remind the state of its obligations and make rights meaningful. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Yet, in doing so, activism must remain rooted in the constitutional method, for Ambedkar also warned us, if we do not adopt constitutional methods, there can be no revolution, only anarchy. Last friends, holds perhaps the most important role of all for the future of our democracy lies with them. Ambedkar told us, cultivation of mind should be the ultimate aim of human existence. To you, the youth of today, this means internalizing constitutional values not just in classrooms and moot courts, but in your everyday outlook, in the way you treat others, in the way you think justice, in the way you imagine the future of your society. And finally, the public, Justice Krishna Iyer and famously said, the Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document, it is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age. It is the people who must demand and protect constitutional values, right come with duties and fraternity, the spirit of mutual respect. It is the glue that binds our vast diversity into one nation. Of course, journey is not without challenges. Ambedkar himself observed, democracy in India is only a top dressing on an Indian soil, which is essentially undemocratic. We still see selective use of constitutional rhetorics for partisan ends, and we see ignorance of rights and duties among large section of these citizens. we see majority impulses challenging majority protection, and we see justice delayed, which weaken faith in the institution. Dear friends, there are so many issues, and my message to the advocates, especially the budding advocates or the law students, when you enter in the profession, you will have no work, no money. How that work will come, money will come, you don't know. And sometime after coming to the profession, you feel we have taken a wrong decision because there is no money, we are double graduate, no money, no work. Then, how I can suggest you? Because I am, I'll say, first generation lawyer. My parents were agricultural laborer. So therefore, if Suresh Kait can rise from some small village to the Chief Justice of a High Court, then why you cannot? When such thoughts comes, depressing thoughts I can say, just reject. Because when you entered in a profession, even advocate clerk will earn more than a budding advocate. That time you realize we are not able to earn even equally to advocate clerk. That thought also you reject, because advocate clerk graph will be a no graph at all. It will be a little rise in the salary, but your graph can go to up to extent, but you have to collect your courage and continue to strive and hard work in the profession. From this platform, it is very important to raise a very important issue, which is, I can say, that issue I am touching to some extent, it is near to fulfill in southern part of this country. Why I am touching so? In high courts, elevation to a high court judge is a minimal throughout the country. Especially the southern states, including Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, that's all. Even Kerala representation, proper representation is not there. And I can you so many states where from the advocate, not even a single advocate is elevated to the bench, despite more than 75 years of the independence. Why it is so? This situation cannot be accepted. And who are responsible? We, because we don't raise our voice. People may say today, now Justice Kaith has retired, now he started raising voice. But it is not. In 2023, I got opportunity on this Constitution Day. I raised this issue from Vigyan Bhavan, Delhi. So therefore, I given the data that time, कि number of high courts, that time I am talking about, little bit change is there, but change is minimal, nothing much has happened. From northern state I am telling, Jammu Kashmir, nil. Himachal, nil. From the bar I am talking about, almost nil. One or two, just forget about that, is not to be counted. Delhi, that is national capital of the country. And when I was elevated, I was the first from the bar, from SC, ST and BC. Before me, never ever elevated either from service, judiciary or from the advocate side. If this is happening in Delhi, and even today, after me, nobody is there. Can we accept this type of situation? Because we conduct seminars, we just listen speeches, clapping, have tea or coffee, and thereafter that's over. Because one day you have spent and you feel we have wasted complete one day or we consumed one day. It is not. Because this struggle, who started? Jyotiba Phule. And especially ladies must understand, who opened first school, girls' school, Jyotiba Phule. And Savitribai Phule was the first women teacher of India. Majority of the women, they don't know. Whenever I find opportunity, I always ask, tell us, who is the first teacher of the country? Who opened the first girls' school? Majority, they don't know. You should know your history first. Only then you can create history. So therefore, don't bother about your household. Don't sleep at home. Continue to wake up. Raise your voice. I remember, especially in these states, southern states, when there is an elevation, names are being recommended or recommended for the judgeship of the High Court. If these three categories are not there, please raise your voice. Raise your voice. It is not only paper voice. Here is your actual voice. Okay, why it is not? Country is not meant only for few caste or categories. It is 85% population we have, and still in high courts, judges are not even 18%, not touching 20 at all. I can say from this platform, and if anybody prove that I am wrong, I have challenged to that. Recently when I went over there as a Chief Justice in Madhya Pradesh, you will believe that Madhya Pradesh High Court was so old, 1956 High Court, 1956. And till I went over there, not even a single, either from service or advocate, ever elevated as a judge of the High Court. And population how much in Madhya Pradesh? BC more than 50%, SC, ST 40%. So 93% around, it is the government data. 93% population not having any SC, ST judge, or only 2 judges till then I reached, recommended from BC category, having more than 50 population. How this country is going on? We have to raise this issue. What I did, first time, I recommended 2 from SC and 1 from BC, 3, and all 3 elevated. They have taken oath. So therefore I opened the account. So is position in a senior advocate. You all know senior advocate to be designated by the full court, High Court. I don't know how many of the categories in this High Court. You know better. But in Madhya Pradesh, there was none. Only 1 applied, and now he is a designated senior advocate in Madhya Pradesh during my time. So my question is now, when you are elevated or you are reached to certain level, you just forget your people. You just don't think about representation is required. And from this platform, I request and call upon each and every collegium of the High Court of these countries, whenever they recommend names, they should first search the candidates whose category candidates are not there, then select and recommend. Those who say that candidates are not available, they are dishonest totally. Candidates are there, their wish is required. So with these words, you continue with this function. You carefully and patiently listen. So many good speakers are there, those who have a vast experience in every field. My little experience in especially the judiciary, that's why I confined to that one only. Otherwise, these 4-5 topics are there. I can speak hours together, but mind is set. After half an hour, maximum quarter to an hour, the mind also start rejecting, because my mind become tired. And I hope I have not bored you. Thank you very much for patient hearing, and thank you very much for giving me opportunity to share my views with you. All the best. Thank you very much.